So, welcome to All Things Italian, sponsored by the Italian Cultural Center of Western Massachusetts. I'm John Perrier. My co-host is Charles Becker, the president of the Italian Cultural Center, and we are interviewing the legendary Mario Fiore today, and his nephew and sometime chauffeur James Fiore is also here as well. So we're just going to ask Mario a few questions. And so Mario, tell us about yourself growing up here.
Listen, I grew up at Columbus Avenue. Columbus Avenue was just changed from Water Street. I told you before when we talked, the real story is Water Street. The first immigrants that came to Springfield all settled on Water Street. And there was the real stories about the Italian people. Then Water Street was changed in 1923. The year before I was born, in 1924. It became Columbus Avenue. And Columbus Avenue was really Little Italy. It was great. Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't think there was anybody but Italians. I mean, you had to talk Italian to go to the store. I think I told you that before.
I don't remember, but they didn't speak English. Everybody spoke Italian.
Absolutely. And you had to talk Italian because all our stores were Italian. And
were they different dialects or
huh?
different dialects?
Dialect, yes.
Right.
I speak dialect too. I don't speak proper. If you call Italy and school children answers the phone, you hear correct Italian, and the correct Italian is beautiful. Our dialect sounds like Chinese, but
And what dialect is that?
Huh?
What dialect is that?
Well, there's Sicilian dialect, I wouldn't understand it at all. Sicilian, absolutely, it doesn't sound Italian sometimes, the dialect. Our dialect, in other words, just like Pasta Fazool.
Mm-hmm.
The real name is Pasta Fagioli. We say Pasta Fazool.
Napoletano, I believe you're
That's a dialect.
Napoletano.
Yeah.
That's where all the good food came
It's
from.
like
Anyway,
Pig Latin. You understand? You remember Pig Latin?
Yes.
Pig Latin was a short talk for English. And that dialect in Italian is the same thing as Pig Latin.
So you grew up before the highway came in, right?
Yes,
And
way before.
and so you said everybody spoke Italian. And what happened? How did it change after they put the highway through?
Don't forget, they relocated 1,500 families, which maybe 5,500 people, which never should have happened. That highway should have been in West Springfield, and never should. They took away Columbus Avenue, which would be like the North End in Boston now, because every house was grapevines, gardens, beautiful. The houses were well kept all along Columbus Avenue. And the Columbus Avenue people were the leftovers from Water Street, like I say. And I watched the people that were born before me. I admired them so much. They were great. They had nothing, but they were happy. And they helped each other. If a mother had a baby next door, well, the next door neighbor would take the kids that she has and let her rest. And we're all born at home. We're all born in a house, all of us. Say, of course, we didn't know of course, we weren't poor. I thought we were rich, not in monetarily. We were rich in everything else, happiness and health.
Culturally?
Everybody seemed happy, that's all. And they were close. They were so close it was even funny.
So what were you saying
My
about...
uncles and my father's friend would eat over my house. My father would cook. I mean, they were close. That's what is lacking today. There's no closeness at all. And you don't see it. I hope there is, but I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see what I saw when I was growing up. It was beautiful, beautiful. I wouldn't want anything changed. You know, when you think about it, you don't need too much money. we go sell papers, we shine shoes, we go caddying, pick tobacco, we bring $1.54, put it on the table. My mother could buy 10 pounds of flour, a pound, 2 pounds of meat with that money. Everything was so cheap. Bread was 11 cents. I don't know what milk was. Milk was very cheap.
So
And that's another thing. I don't know if I told you that, but my mother's sister Rosie, her husband, my Uncle Felix, was in World War One. He couldn't even speak English, and he was in World War One. Thank God he was, because after that, they had what they call the Soldiers' Relief. And my Aunt Rosie would go down to Kennedy's for all the dairy products. She'd get 10 pounds of butter, 50 pounds of flour, a bag, and maybe 10 dozen eggs, and she'd share it with my mother and my mother's sisters. She would get that all from the Soldiers' Relief. Nobody, I don't know if anybody alive even knows about that. They called it the Soldiers' Relief for World War One. One thing about the United States, they take care of veterans, especially World War II, because in 8 years, there's not going to be any left. They're going to be all gone, unless they're 115 or something, you know. And nobody should ever forget World War II. Nobody should ever forget that.
So I know you got drafted, but before you got drafted, what were your plans? What did you want to be? What did you want to do?
Well, I'm an artist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know
I
that.
did not know that.
Yeah. And when I graduated from Tech, my art teacher, he had sent a letter to Disney, Walt Disney in California, and King Features in New York to see if I could go to work there. And they sent a letter back then and said, yes, is anybody you got, you come to work out here, so $75 a week and everything. And then I got drafted. Then I forgot all about it.
Was $75 a week a lot of money back then?
Oh, you're rich.
Oh,
Oh my
jeez.
God. You don't know what you can buy. You know, you can buy a car worth $600. Oh my God.
So you were
Yeah, you pay
went
rent.
through the entire war?
Huh?
You went through the entire war from beginning to end?
What's that?
The war, World War II, you went from the beginning to end in the entire war?
Oh no, I came out in 43.
Okay.
Yeah, I never went overseas. Never went overseas.
So one of the things that, researching some of the stuff that you may have gone through, what happened with, there was some kind of a flood going through Springfield or somewhere in Western Mass? What was that all about?
What about?
The flood.
Oh, the flood in 36. Let me tell you something. We were very lucky. My uncle, who lived in Long Meadow, my Uncle Carlo, who had the first Wurlitzer franchise, you know, the music box?
Mm-hmm.
He had the first Wurlitzer. And he was well-to-do, and he was a great guy. He was the best man. He was the best of all. Uncle Carlo, he just took care of everybody no matter what. He took us all over his house, all the kids in Long Meadow. We all went over there. My father never left the house. The cellar was all flooded when we left there. We had a couple of inches on the kitchen floor. But there was 36 of us over in my Uncle Carlo's house. And my father never left. My mother went over to my Uncle Carlo. And Armand Felici, he never left the house too. Him, my father, and Uncle Felix, they stayed in my house. They cooked and ate and everything in the water. And the older boys ran a taxi service, a boat service. And then the National Guards were all over Columbus Avenue. The National Guards were, to prevent looting and all that. And two of the National Guards, I knew them. Was Fitzy Savini and Momo Scarnici. They were one in the National. They always were in it. They joined. They stayed all the way into World War II. But the National Guards were called out early, and we were down on Columbus Avenue. It was over 13 feet of water. That's how high it was. And there's a marker down on, what's that building that you said have the Daily News building, where Main Street goes down to Columbus Avenue, and then it becomes Locust Street. There's a marker right there that says 13 feet of water.
Wow.
It's still there.
I believe there's a couple of spots in
Yeah,
the city,
that building used to be there. And then they had a restaurant there too.
especially going up to Hatfield, there's
Yeah.
even markers up
There's
there.
a marker there that said it was 13 feet of water. And then the cleanup after that, oh God, I had mud all over the place. Everything flooded. Everything was in the streets.
Did you have any issues with food and
Huh?
do you have any issues with getting food and water and all that stuff because of the flood? Did it wipe everything out?
Yeah, I guess, well, you know, we didn't see that too much because we were in Long Meadow. I guess you couldn't go to the store and buy anything. But they used to feed us at the house over there. And Moch was the warden. Moch, he was the oldest, one of the oldest cousins. And he would supply us with cocoa, and he said, we're gonna make it with water, not with milk. We get cocoa at night.
So, did you guys, whether it was your mom or you, or did you guys make all your own foods, the meats, and did you with wine? Did you do all any of that stuff growing up?
No, well, everybody made wine. I remember everybody making bread. And you could smell bread 6 o'clock in the morning.
Down the
Everybody
street.
made their own bread.
Can't imagine.
And that disappeared after. And my father never made wine, no, but all his paisans made wine, and they would bring gallons of wine over the house. Everybody made wine at Christmas time. They would bring you a gallon of wine. You'd have gallons of wine all over the house at Christmas time from people making it.
And your mom made all
It
fresh
was-
pasta?
Huh?
Did your mom make fresh pasta?
No, my mother didn't make fresh pasta, no. But most of the women did. Most of the women that came from northern Italy, they were the pasta makers. They made tortellinis. On the bedspread, you see all tortellinis and gavadillo. You see them. They make them with their thumb, and they put them on their bedspread after. And then we used to get them from the northern Italians. They made all the fresh pasta. They were great. But a lot of our neighbors made their own. My mother never made pasta, no.
So, watching the video of you, there was some mention about Las Vegas. So, what went on with Las Vegas? What'd you do there?
Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, in 1964, there was people from New York that came, and they were taking gambling junkets to New York at the Flamingo, and they stopped in, and they talked with one of the older men. They wanted to know if they could. They were running out of people. They wanted to share the airplane. If we're interested in putting on people, half of the airplane, 50 people, and gamblers. So it was Andy Pardella and me and Albert Sabelli. We talked with the guy we met over Ciro. He says, yes. He said, well, we could fill the whole plane, never mind, you know. I said, oh, no. His first name was Lou and Sam, and they were running junkets through the Flamingo. So we shared the first airplane in 1964, and it was a big success. And we were paid so much ahead. Then we met somebody at the Flamingo that was going to go to the new Dunes Hotel. The Dunes Hotel first failed at the first opening. Then they redid it with new owners, and this guy said, well, the new Dunes is going to be interested in bringing junkets. They're going to have junkets from 27 cities. And would we be interested? Yes, we talked with them, and we bought in the first airplane, 232 people, huge success, and we did it every month for 22 years, and we were salaried.
Wow.
It was great. Imagine that. That's how the hotel was great. The hotel made money, and we made money.
Must have been
We were
fun doing it
salaried.
too.
Huh?
Must have been fun doing it too.
It was how could you ask for anything better? I mean, it was great, but I mean, it was serious business because it was money, and you had to bring people that were going to pay, you know, and they did pay. Everybody paid.
Is that where the picture of you with Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, that was at the Copacabana.
Yeah. So tell me about that. How'd that happen?
Well, no. Well, what happened was we were at the Copacabana, me and Andy and Baba and Frank Sinatra. He came over, and we were all introduced to some. And as a matter of fact, everybody at that table was named Frank. Yeah, and he was very nice, Frank Sinatra, and he talked with us. And then we met him again in Las Vegas too. But Frank Sinatra, one thing about him that people don't know, of course he was a star, you know, and all stars, I guess they're all temperamental. Everybody says that, but I never found them that way. And I know personally that he paid for 2 people's funerals that he never even knew. Dick Ames, you know Dick Ames, he was a singer. He was a young singer, and he was broke. He got sick. He was very young, and his career didn't last long, and he died. And Frank Sinatra paid fully for his funeral. And another man got cancer in Las Vegas. He was originally from New York, and Frank Sinatra's agent, who was from Pittsfield, called me to know if anybody had a credit card to get the ambulance from New York to Boston for this person. Frank Sinatra would pay. And we did have one guy, Nick LaSella, and he used his credit card for the ambulance service from New York to Boston for this. From Vegas, he already flew. Frank Sinatra picked up that part, and he paid for the ambulance part for that. That I know for sure, because his agent called up.
Yeah, and I pretty much
That's
heard,
how good he was.
I heard the same thing. And he was a good guy as long as you didn't do anything, you know,
And one
as long
more
as you didn't
thing,
disrespect him.
when Joe Louis was paralyzed,
Mhm.
you know Joe
Yeah,
Louis,
the
right?
boxer.
He took Joe Louis and got him a job at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
And
This
Frank
is-
Sinatra did that.
See, I didn't know any of this stuff. Did you, Charlie?
No.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, I know that his mother was a very nice person too. She
Yes.
helped out the Italian community.
The poor Molly got killed going to Las Vegas in a storm.
Really?
Did you know that?
I didn't. That was his
An
mother?
airplane crash. Molly. And because, I still got that. He had all a memorial medals made of Molly for her funeral. I got that in
Wow.
Las Vegas. I still got that.
That's nice to have a
Yes.
nice little memory. So Jimmy, I know that your family brought in some talent to Western Massachusetts. So who were some of the young talent that you brought in?
Well, my father was a theatrical agent for many years, 25 years or so. And he distributed talent all down the East Coast. But he worked with Al Martino. He knew Al Martino, so
The biggest one was Al Martino.
Was he the one that was in The Godfather?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Many people when they were coming up, they were in nightclubs that my father supplied entertainment for, and they used to. His office was in the Hotel Charles, which was next to the train station. So the entertainers would come from New York, a lot of them, and they're away from their families on the holidays, and they would come over to my house, like Al Martino and a lot of other crooners and stuff, but Jimmy Roselli and who else was there? A lot of Jerry Vale and all these different people.
Really?
And my mother they're away from their family, so they'd come for Christmas or the Thanksgiving or whatever. And some of them like to cook themselves. Like Al Martino was a good cook, and he had given my mother a set of dishes, just as a gift.
And how old were you at this time?
Oh, I was like a teenager, 12 years old.
And how did they treat you? As, when you were a kid, I mean, younger. How did they treat you as far as?
Oh, very good. Yeah, they were
all very
respectful people.
respectful.
Yeah, they were interesting people, and they my father should have when television came in. Before television came in, nightclubs were booming. People would go out and see a floor show, have dinner, and my father put together these shows for different nightclubs. When a lot of these people that might work for my father went out to California to be in the television and the movies, they wanted my father to come out and be like personal managers. But my mother, he had 3 sisters, and she didn't want to relocate. So my father always regretted it because he loved the entertainment business. He loved the entertainment business, and what he was doing just got replaced, like cell phones replaced pay phones.
He had the opportunity to pursue it. He just
as a matter of fact, remember Guy Marks, Uncle Mario? Guy Marks?
Huh?
Remember Guy Marks?
Guy Marks,
Yeah,
yes.
he was a TV star, but he started off working for
His real name was Mario Scarpa.
And so you recently had an event at your house for your uncle. Right?
Yeah, big party.
Tell us about that event.
Well, it was his 100th birthday, so we had I've got a big house, and we invited lots of people. Well, maybe 300 people came.
Wow.
And they come from Italy, Florida, California. Relatives around here. Charlie was there.
I was there.
I'm sure my invitation got lost.
He did say anyone else I could invite.
Everybody was welcome. We had the mayor there and the state representative. We had assorted gangsters there. We had everybody, different nice walks of life.
Well, and how did you feel about that, Mario?
About what?
I mean, I know you're a big star, but how did you feel knowing that all the 300 people showed up for your birthday?
Wasn't that something? I think everybody likes somebody that's 100 years old. No matter how bad he is, they like a guy if he's 100 years old. I don't know what it is, but like I say, I did never realize that you're going to be 100 years old and everybody's going to like you. Really, they were so nice to me. Like I said, I can't wait to be 200.
Well, it does help that you're a very nice guy, and
No.
I personally have never heard you say a bad thing about anybody, and everybody else that I've spoken to says the same thing, so
No.
I can imagine that's why.
How would you say, and you kind of brushed up a little bit, from the time you were growing up here to now, people just helped each other more. What would you say one thing you'd want to bring back is from your childhood to now? What would it be?
Well, that's a good question. What you want to bring back is how it was. There's so many things that were so different, Well, first of all, there wasn't that many inventions, convenient inventions, and everybody got along without them. And that's another thing. Well, it's beginning to be a big problem, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we're not doing anything anymore. I mean, pretty soon, like artificial intelligence is taking over. And according to the headlines and all the talk, they're worried about that, about human beings.
So you
Personally, that's one thing that was missing, because actually the Italian immigrant came over with a trade. That was one thing. I don't know about the immigrants coming now, if they have any trades or what, I don't know. But the Italian immigrant, great masons, great carpenters, great barbers. They all had a trade, whatever it was. Electrician. There was a lot of Italians that had a trade of electricity, which was very important. But
So-
that's one thing that's
So-
missing.
the family sitting around the table as well, eating together.
Oh, yeah,
Helping each other out.
Sunday, the family had to be there. My father and my mother was strict about my brothers, and you gotta come 5 o'clock Sunday, and that was great. Sunday meals were great, and they don't have no more. I don't know where to go Sunday. You go and eat, but they don't have any more. I don't think so. I don't know. I hope they do, but I don't see it. Of course, there's no more Italians down here anyway. They're all
Yeah.
left. They're all left, and that's a pity. There were so many of them. They're all left, and they come Monday for a special down the Fiorentino. You'll see some of they all went to East Long Meadow, Hamden, Wilbraham, Agawam, all over. But their ties were really down in the south end. They come Monday when their places are closed. All their restaurants are closed. Monday they come for specials down the Fiorentino. Do you ever go?
I do, yeah.
You see them
I
all?
see the majority Sundays and Mondays, you're right.
Yeah, Monday's a big day for them.
So we briefly talked about Sacco and Vanzetti, and for those people who don't know who they were two Italians that, even though there was no proof of anything that they had done, supposedly had held somebody up and murdered somebody in 1920,
Yeah.
and it was before your time. But there was some Italian prejudice back then, and I'm just wondering, at a young age, did you ever experience any sort of prejudice against Italians?
Yeah, that was a big talk about that because it was so close in Boston. The town was outside of Boston there. What was
I
it?
think it was Braintree.
Yeah, Braintree. Naturally, we were all the talk was about that.
And
They waste no time. They got electrocuted.
I think what it is that too is many have forgotten how much prejudice the Italians have gone through when they were here. They struggled a lot, and many people don't realize how much prejudice Italians have gone through in the South End, especially in the United States as the newer immigrants.
Well, every nationality suffers prejudice. First it was the Jewish, then the Italians, the Irish. The Irish first. When the Irish were all down Columbus Avenue first before the Italians came. And they, as Catholics, they suffered prejudice. We all know that.
So you had said that I guess the derogatory name Guinea. Where did that come from?
What?
The name Guinea. Where did that come from? You said.
Well, the talk was that the English people and the Irish that were here first, I guess the only black people that they really was in New Guinea, which was owned by England or something, right?
Probably, yeah.
So naturally, all the Italians coming from southern Italy were dark. And we were called Guineas. We knew that. Where could that come from?
So they got it from New Guinea, and they just went ahead and.
Where else could it come from? I mean, where could they associate our skin color? That's where the word comes from. And the word, everybody said the word "wop" comes from without papers. I don't know how true that is.
Well, back then, did anybody ever have to really go through, like, what was the process of going through the
Ellis
citizenship?
Island, they had to go through, yeah.
Did anybody even have papers
Oh,
back then?
They'd be examined, make sure they were healthy. That's what I heard. I don't know. I never knew anything about it, but people would tell us that they were checked over and everything, make sure they didn't carry any disease or anything. I don't know if they still do that. But they had to regret, and some of them had to be sponsored too by a relative. I don't know, because I didn't know I was born here.
So they recently had a gala. Was it the Sons and Daughters of Italy put that on? And you were given an award. What was the award for?
A veteran. It was our Sons of Italy. I was the veteran of the year for the Sons of Italy. Not for the millions of veterans better than me, but I was a veteran for our Sons of Italy.
Thank you
I'm
for
no
your
hero.
service on
I'm not
Veterans
no
Day that's
hero or
coming up.
anything, I'm just a lonely GI, that's all.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. So before we wrap this up, Charlie, you have any more questions for Mario?
No, I'm just, thank you for your service as a veteran,
Well,
as
thank
an
you.
Italian-American veteran as
Yes.
well, because
Yeah.
this is the Italian Cultural Center.
Yeah, one thing about the United States, they take care of veterans, that's one thing. They get all the help that they want for free, that's pretty good. And they worry about them.
Well, we thank you for coming in, and we're certainly glad we
Did we do okay?
I think we did. I think we did. We went through some
I
history.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, went through some history.